Hello and welcome to the IPL South Coast Footballholic podcast. And guess what, Mr. Bartlett? We're back. Season preview was a massive success. Round one is upon us. Guess how many days it's been? By the time this comes out, 244 days since the last competitive IPL fixture.
And yet it feels like it's snuck up really quickly. So, hey guys, welcome to the show. Look, that does and doesn't surprise me at the same time.
I knew it's been a while. I didn't realise that's 2/3 of a year. That's a long time.
Let's hope we get a full season this time.
Yeah, we will. I think we will.
Yep.
There's I think we're over that competition cancellation hump, if that's the way you describe it. But anyway, we'll get straight into
Absolutely.
it. Brought to you, of course, the boardroom in here by the Fraternity Club. We had a bit of issues with the video last week. The video should be all right this week.
Yep.
Fraternity Club. They will be supplying prizes for giveaways, so those score predictions ones we did last year. Keep an eye on that. They'll be there for our match of the round this week, which we'll touch on a little bit later. And every season, my season, who have supplied the shirts. Go and check them out for some football training. But I was just showing you earlier, Josh Bartlett, we have a new pod record, and we didn't just beat the pod download record last week. We smashed it.
Woo, well done.
All right.
Well done, everyone back home. Thank you.
Last year, our previous record was last year's season preview, which got just over 300. This year, 565 plays,
Fantastic.
which is outstanding. Thank you so much for the support, all the 12 players who helped us out as well. And Arvella, who's not here, but he'll be back with us soon, hopefully.
Fingers
Busy,
crossed.
does one column with Buzz Rothfield, and now he's, the most in-demand journo in the Illawarra.
Hey.
You're on leave.
True.
But Mr. Bartlett, back in action. How are we? We good?
Actually, I'm going on leave, guys. But there'll be other journos covering while I'm off, which is good. So, but I think that those numbers show that the want for the season ahead is there. People can't wait for this competition to get underway.
And there's a lot of... You think, it's a local comp, but I'm expecting big crowd numbers this weekend.
I think so, particularly a couple of those derbies we're looking at, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
There's a couple of games I think there will be a nice size crowds there.
If you're thinking, what would we say, 244 days since the last IPL fixture, go to a couple of games. Go to a game at least this weekend.
Yep.
Pack out even the first game, which is probably... Actually, it is our match of the round.
Yeah.
Crinny and Connor, 8 p.m. to open the season on Friday night under the lights. Crinny Friday night games are always the best.
Yep.
And Korean Park can make an atmosphere if you've got enough people there. So I reckon pack out the IPL this weekend if the game goes ahead, which is going to be another story.
The weather continues to be not our friend, doesn't it?
Never is, especially... We'll get into the trend a little bit later, but... Match around this weekend, mine without a doubt is Crinny and Connor.
Yep, no doubt. There's a couple other really good games in there actually. But
That's not going to
That's the one I thought was just keeping an eye on earlier. I believe it's Olympic versus Port Kembla.
Port Kembla's got United.
It's United versus Wollongong United versus Port Kembla. I think that's going to be a ripper of a game. So, but Conno and Crinny, the local rivals. Coniston after their magical effort last year. Cringella expected to improve dramatically this year. New leadership, new players. I think it should be a cracker of a game.
It's going to be so exciting, and I'll be there. I'm pretty sure Arvella said he's going to be there, and come say hello. It'd be nice. I'd like to see if you've listened to the potty last week or so, come and say hello.
Come meet the great man and Dylan.
That's it. That's the first time anyone's ever called me a great man.
Take it.
I'll have to. Who stands out the most this weekend? Which team do you reckon by Sunday Arvo has either going to have the most dominant performance or has scored the most goals, something like that? Who puts their foot on the throat of their opposition this weekend?
Yeah, without giving too much away, I think there will be interesting predictions. We'll see how similar our predictions are in 2022. I'm thinking Mitch Cross might be the man who makes a bit of an impression this weekend. His first year in the IPL, I believe, ever. I think he's going to be impressive.
Yes. It was
at Albion Park, sorry.
Yeah, at White Eagles. I was going to say at White Eagles as well. While doing the show notes, we'll get into it a bit later, I was looking at their pre-season results. And yeah, the stats tell a story, even though stats don't tell the whole story, but we'll get into that later. But Albion Park's my tip for the most standout side this weekend. And they're going to be my tip to, although it's round one, I reckon they're going to be leading the comp by the end of round one, just from whoever's playing who. Okay. But we'll see how we go. Your tip for player of the round? It's tough.
Without giving too much away for later in the show, I'm going to go with Tomohiro Ishii.
You reckon? Okay,
yeah.
Against his old club, first game?
Against his old club, new recruit for Bulli. I think he's ready to make his mark in this competition. How about yourself?
I'm torn between two. Either Ethan Cambisios or if he plays, which I like, I think he's going to play Van Elia.
Yep. They're
going to be my two because Elia, as we all know, talented as anything, can dish up anything on his day. But Cambisios is going to be so key for Albion Park in that midfield as well, which Dylan said he reckons it's the strongest midfield in the comp.
He did.
That's what he said last week.
I think he's got a point to prove this year, Ethan, as well.
Coming back from
the NPL. Same with Van, to be honest. Didn't work out with the Wolves, for him. Didn't get a lot of time at Olympic thanks to COVID. We didn't get to see a lot of him last year, but he looked quite good in the games he did play. So it'll be interesting.
Yes. All right. Now we're going to have a bit of fun here before we get into it. Rubbing my hands together. We're going to go out on a limb right now. Don't hold a knife to our heads if this is at your team's expense. 3 bold predictions that we're going to look back on at the end of the season, and we're either going to say, hey, we were right, or we're just going to laugh at them. Right. Drum roll, Bartlett. First one.
I'm actually going to give each of these a little headline as well.
Yes.
Terrific Tomohiro, which obviously, I kind of gave it away with that.
The first
I think he's going to be recruit of the year for Bulli.
You reckon signing
He's going to be the IPL signing of the year, I believe.
Okay. Yep. That's it'll be crucial for them.
Not
a
huge going on a limb, that one. But, there's been plenty of good recruits right across the league. I think he's got a point to prove this year. He was so important. I believe 2020.
2020.
Very important that year.
Or even 2021.
2021, he was a standout for Winona. So I think he's going to be really good this year.
Number 2.
Bye.
Oh, if this is what I think it is, I think I might have it as well.
I believe a coach is going to be moved on in the first month. No insight. There's no rumblings.
There's no reasoning behind this, all right?
Traditionally, we've seen coaches, I think it was 2 years ago.
Last year.
Even last year, I think 2020, I think Steven Dimitrevski left a couple of days before Paul Kembler's first game.
Yep.
Last year, it was
Albion Park.
Albion Park had a real shuffle of coaches right at the start of the year. I think it might have been the first couple of games, but it was early on.
It was around Easter, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I'm expecting. I'm not saying who.
I don't know who.
I don't know, but
history tells us something. And again, these predictions with no reason at all.
Just being the IPL, there's always coaching changes. There's always
something going on.
So that's my second prediction.
Number 3.
Hello, Helensburgh.
Reckon the Burger coming up?
I think Thistle are going to get promoted this year. I think they're going to win the District League title. And
they had a big win on the weekend in the Banter Cup.
Looks quite good. I think they're going to get promoted. I'm not sure who's going to fall down at this stage and get relegated.
I don't know either.
It's too early. It's too early. There's a couple of potential options, but it's so early in the year. But how about yourself, mate? What have you got?
All right, number 1. What? No drum roll?
Oh, sorry. We're doing our own drum roll.
All right. Well, we don't. I don't think we need a drum roll for this one. This is similar to what I said. There will be a coach change by the end of April.
End of April. Yep. You've given it.
We're giving it 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
2 months. So we're going to be by the end of April. There will be a change. Again, no reasoning. I don't know who.
Who? Just question without notice. Who are some of the teams or coaches do you think most under pressure going into this year?
Under pressure? Oh, look, pressure and risk of losing your head coach and role is completely different, I think.
Yeah, completely.
You got teams up the top like, Olympic Cono.
Yep. High expectations.
High expectations.
Yep.
There is pressure there. But then you got sides down the bottom who may have lost players, stuff like that. Like Winona, for example, they've lost players, but we don't know what to expect from them.
They've also had a coaching change, so that might give them a little bit more air in terms of coaches.
In terms of pressure, in terms of pressure, it'd be the higher sides, I reckon.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting.
Because there's a lot more expectation around them. But you look, I reckon there'll be a change. I just don't know who. Okay.
It's an interesting one because a few of the teams we expect might be down the bottom of the ladder have had coaching changes already.
Yeah.
I think Bellambi has obviously had a new coach come in. Woonaroon's got their assistants come in. There's been a few changes come about.
And there's been a lot of new players and a lot of movements going everywhere.
Exactly. So
look, these predictions are without reasoning. They're just for a bit of fun. So
they're going to make
us
us
at the
look
end of the year, I reckon.
They're going to make us look really good or really bad.
Make
by
us
the end of
look
the year,
like a bunch of palookas.
All right, let's roll into number 2.
Number 2. I reckon the early comp start will be a success and we'll keep it for years to come.
Oh, fantastic. So you think that Frat Cup is gone?
Well, Frat Cup's gone. Fraternity Club, Illawarra Premier League starting in February stays.
Interesting.
I think.
Okay.
I think it stays.
Yep.
I reckon it'll be a success. Twilight Games first 2 months, I think.
Yep.
That'll be a success.
And you like the Bampton Cup, the way it's going at the moment, starting just right on end of pre-season.
Yeah.
Going
The
throughout
district
the year,
league sides as well.
Yep.
So they're a bit more
And
prepared.
Community League.
And Community League as well, which during on breakers got a good win over Kiama. They're through as well. Got a couple of ex-IPL players in there as well. So well done to them.
Yep.
But I reckon this February changes. I reckon it'll work out all right.
Okay. And last but not least,
this is ambitious. We will have an IPL 100-metre sprint race at the grand finals at the end of the year. Now, I'm predicting this because I want to make it happen. So if you're listening to this right now, march on down to Chapman Street to the Football South Coast office and tell them we want an IPL 100-metre sprint race at the grand finals this year.
I don't mind
and
it.
ideal.
I don't mind
ideal
it.
as well.
What an interesting idea. I
reckon it'd be a brilliant idea. Get the fastest player from each club, any grade, and get their kits on, chuck them in, if it's at Wynn Stadium or whatever.
And see.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like the Wolf Chase at halftime of Wolves games. That's iconic.
A bit of fun. You see it at different grand finals on the top level of sports. So why not? I'm for it.
You know what? It provides a bit of a show for the games as well. You can make normal rounds into a show as well.
Yeah. You never know what to expect with these predictions. I like that one.
Clubs with the stereos and the good music. Like I'm thinking Albion Park. Conno's got it. United's done it sometimes. I think if you get the music and a vibe going, it's a reason to come to games.
Yep.
Maybe you can get your jerseys. Clubs get your jerseys out, I reckon. Like, how the professional teams sell the jerseys.
Yep.
Maybe just sell a jersey and that so people come to games wearing jerseys.
Why not?
Sell your merch. Get memberships going. I know Conno's got memberships going, season memberships going. They've got different options.
Yep.
Professionalise it a bit. I reckon you get more, if you do it that way, you get more people to games, you create an atmosphere.
Just touching on that too, going to Terror Reserve on a Sunday, it's a vibe.
It's
a vibe. They have the music blaring, sometimes maybe a little loud, but who cares? It's good fun.
No, there's no such thing as a little loud. No such thing. Create a vibe. I reckon clubs create a vibe, create an atmosphere.
Yep.
Get more people down to games, and I could tell you, even more players from Sydney or good players from around will want to come and play for our comp.
Absolutely.
I've chucked this on you last minute.
Yep.
A bold prediction for round 1.
Oh,
you want me to go first?
No, I'll stick with there'll be 5 winners.
5 winners?
5 winners, 1 draw is my prediction.
My prediction is, and this will go into the next talking point, there will be just 1 game washed out this weekend.
Oh, you think the weather gods are going to be nice to us?
Which is why I'm going to ask you a question. Is round 1 of the IPL cursed?
I think so.
When's the last time
in recent years
we have had a full IPL round 1 without wet weather interruptions?
Last year we lost at least half.
Pretty sure the year before.
Yep.
And it's gone from like years before. I think Dylan said last year it's been like 3-4 years since we got a full round 1 here.
Held in different times of the year, so it's not like it's held one.
Bringing it earlier,
it would help.
And then El Nino had different plans.
That's right.
But it's cursed.
Yep.
It's genuinely cursed.
I agree.
Someone's looking above and thinking, hey, LPL starts this weekend. Yeah, come a bit of rain. South Coast,
why not? Cause some disruption.
But we'll get into a little bit of footy.
Yep.
Trial games that we know of from this weekend. I'm sure there was a lot more. There was a few washed out as well. Coniston got 2-1 over Port Kembla. Albion Park got up 3-1 over Dulwich Hill. And Wollongong United, speaking of rain, I'm pretty sure they got soaked Friday night against Bankstown City Lions in Sydney. They lost 3-2.
Yep.
A wet night from what I saw, some photos. Just an update as well. We won't be getting an IPL tipping comp going. Not enough interest, I don't think, to set it up. But we are, with Arvella, going to have in-house poddy tipping comp using the pod tips and that with Arvella as well.
Yep.
So That is, you can keep an eye out for that. You can follow that. But now I've got a little message to say. So
Ooh.
the pod came out, the season preview came out about,
Just under a week.
What was, when did it come out? Thursday at 4 p.m.,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
This was a message I got, what time was it? 4:42 p.m. and it's from none other than Rocky Balboa Lavelle himself.
Yep.
Loving the Rocky
Yep.
Balboa.
If you haven't
chat.
seen that meme, go check it out.
Oh, it's
Brilliant.
excellent.
Yep.
It's excellent. So we got, is he the greatest boxer to ever field, to the IPL in all time?
I think
Best
so.
boxer
Yeah.
to grace the IPL.
I think so. Definitely one of the best nicknames in recent
It's
memory.
outstanding. There was another one that continued on from that as well. Now, we'll probably put it in the video if I can. That Rocky Balboa post, I do recall there was a little bit of a side meme underneath from Jordan Nikolovsky. And he
else?
photoshops Rocky and one and only Brendan Patman into like a fight scene.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think, it was Paddy, right? He had his face on John Cena and Rocky Lavelle on The Rock.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get until now. That's actually very clever.
That is
The
very
Rocky
well
Lavelle on
played,
The Rock.
yeah.
But anyway, so I'm playing my game on the weekend and Port Kembla's playing after us. Right? So I'm standing there on Weatherall Park waiting for Port to come into the sheds.
Yep.
And here's Jordan Nico hitting me with the "you can't see me."
Might be the start of something
Might
here.
be the start of something. He did tell me he was going to do something with that when he scores next, and hopefully, JC Sports Photography, if you're listening, you better be around for that. But Rocky Balboa and John Cena on the same team, like that's a bit of grunt.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. They can do all the moves, scripted or unscripted.
Scripted, oh yeah, true, yeah, one's
Yes.
scripted. So.
There's always entertainment with those guys around, especially Jordan being the puppet master of it all.
The puppet master,
That actually suits him
Nikolovsky.
quite well.
It does.
I think so.
Oh, you should have. It was the fattest "you can't see me" I've ever seen.
He's been practicing.
I thought I was going blind.
He's been practicing in front of the mirror.
I was going blind.
Yeah.
He set
Yep.
me blind.
Yep.
But we'll get into the business of the show. The round one IPL season preview for the first time in 244 days. Brought to you, of course, by the Fraternity Club. We've got round one, game one. Cringilla Lions against Coniston FC, 8 p.m. Friday, the 25th of February. My match of the round, your match of the round. Without a doubt, this is my match of the round. Two old rivals, two fresh-looking squads. Some players going up against old clubs.
Yes.
3 players I can think of in particular. Friday night, under the lights, Korean Park. If this one isn't packed out, I'll be disappointed.
Absolutely. It's been a while, with respect, since there's been a lot of excitement around the Lions. I think the last couple of years they've just struggled to have a bit of an identity. This year they've recruited well. They've got a new leadership and new coach.
Who is a club legend?
Who is a club legend.
Bit of identity there.
I think it's pretty exciting. And we saw last year, what Coniston can do. Arguably even stronger this year than last year.
Oh, I don't think arguably.
Yeah, just
The
flat out.
signings they brought in, it's
They're
definitely.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a ripping game.
It's going to be outstanding. Cono had a couple of injury issues last week, missing a few players against Port. The likes, pretty big players, Lucas Sturgeon, Daniel Lowe and Adam Volder were missing against Port for several reasons. It'd be interesting to see if these guys are able to fulfill a full-strength side on Friday night.
Yep.
But they did have a couple of youth graders playing up who did very well for themselves as well. But, it'd be interesting to see if these guys field a full-strength side.
Absolutely.
Be very interesting. Conno's pre-season results: a 5-1 win over Unanderra, a 1-1 draw with Shell Cove, which was the day I think Joel Perry did his ankle, so he's out for the year. And that game, the Shell Cove's goal actually came from that. And that game got delayed by about 40 minutes. 3-1 loss to Canberra Croatia down in Canberra. Had a game the week after against West Canberra. They were up 2-1. That was abandoned because Connor O'Neill broke his leg.
Oof.
So 2 season-ending injuries, unfortunately, for Conno there. Plus another one, reserve grade as well, ACL. But after that, though, biggest win of the lot, 1-0 win over Wollongong Wolves. And on the weekend, a 2-1 win over Port Kembla.
Yep.
What do you make of Conno's pre-season?
Good. Impressive,
That's it?
No, I know.
We pay you for your opinion. Come on.
You pay me? Something's got lost in translation there.
Yeah.
Look, they've recruited well. They've got a lot of stars. 2 years ago, these results would really, get me excited. Now it's kind of expected.
Yeah. Before we go any further,
Yeah.
yes, we understand their trial games and their preseason games. We understand, okay? But we've got to work with what we've got to work with.
Yeah. But there's a certain expectation now around Coniston. I see them as one of the top sides in the comp. Whereas 2 years ago, they were an improving side. Whereas now they are one of the genuine title contenders for mine. So,
well, have you beaten the NPL side around here? And they're not the only club that has done that as well.
Yeah, they've had an interesting couple of weeks, the Wolves. Good couple of weeks for IPL teams against the Wolves. So
yeah, it's very
again
interesting.
pre-season.
Yeah, again we know pre-season. Don't read into it too much. But look, if you're getting a result against NPL opposition, you're getting a result against NPL 1 opposition, which is outstanding.
Yep.
Conjilla, on the other hand, these are the results I could find. 3-1 win over Parramatta recently, which was a very good result. 3-0 win over Camden, 1-1 against Bankstown City, and a 3-0 win over Dunbar Rovers. Crinny haven't lost all pre-season, which is very good signs.
A couple of really solid wins, just in terms of results there.
They're like NPL 3, NPL 4 clubs, but like we said last week with Cross, they're tough sides to score against. They always well set up those sides.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's it.
Again, I haven't actually seen much of their pre-season, so I can't comment on the specifics of it. But from the optics, that's solid results, particularly a couple of 2-3 goal wins in there, which is good to see.
Dylan went out on a limb last week, like he does, and he said right from the get-go, he's got these guys in the 5.
Yep.
If you were picking them in the 5 right now, are they in there?
If they're not, they're very close.
Yes or no? Yes or no? If you were to do a top 5 right now, would you have them in there?
Well, I'd say my top 5 at this stage, pre-season's competition hasn't started, but on expectations, in no particular order, Wollongong United, Wollongong Olympic, Albion Park, and Coniston are my top 4.
Who's your 5th spot, you reckon?
That's where it's interesting. It's either Cringillo, it could be Bulli. It's going to be, they're probably the two most impressive of the rest.
My 2 pick is either Cringilla or if they can get their young guys going, Port.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Port as well.
If they can get their young guys firing.
Respect to Port, I did actually momentarily forget them, to be honest. No offense, Jordan. How can you forget Port with Jordan around?
What do you mean you can't forget him? I can't see him anymore.
That's true, maybe that's what happened.
He's made me go blind.
You're right. I think those 3 teams will be pushing for that 5th spot. I feel like Bulli always pushing for that 4th to 5th spot.
See, I don't know about Bulli yet, how they're going to go against IPL opposition, but we'll see. They did have a good 8-0 win over the Flame a couple of weeks ago, which is good signs. But right now, if I was to choose between Crooney and Port, based on pre-season results, I would go Crooney at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think that's probably a fair call.
Yeah, mind you, both sides have got a tough start.
Yep.
Port with United and Crooney with Conno.
Yep.
So, 2 big games for both of those guys.
Definitely.
And if there was anything that we were taught last year by Olympic is that if you're Conno and if you're United and you want to be challenging up the top, you can't be afforded dropping points because Olympic weren't dropping points last year.
No, they weren't. Coniston just kept banking wins last year, banking results pretty much from the get-go.
And clean sheets.
So you got to be right on from the start this year. There's no easy kind of launch to the season.
So, it's going to be quite interesting to see how this top 5 plays out. But at the moment, if I was to pick it, I'd have the top 4 that we are all picking.
Yep.
I'd have Crinny in the 5 at the moment.
Okay.
At the moment, based purely on pre-season results. But
and based purely on vibe, they're not a team I'd want to play in the finals.
You're just looking at the names.
Just vibe that one and names. And
I wouldn't want to play them at the moment. But tips, the fun part. Now, we are going to go winners, or if it's a draw, results.
Yep.
And your man of the match. Okay, now, for all those loyal legions of followers out there, you would know that last year we tended to pick very similar tips.
Almost every week.
Almost identical.
Without talking to each other about it, and
then it worked.
It just worked. Okay. So are we on the same level?
Let's see. Tips and man of the match.
Okay, so I mentioned there's 5 winners this weekend. I think there'll be a winner in this one. I've gone Coniston 2-1. Mm-hmm. Man of the match. One of those new recruits playing their old sides that you kind of touched on without mentioning, Toby Norval.
You know what? Norval wasn't one I thought of because
Yep.
he hasn't played for Crinny for 2 years. That's a very good point.
So 2-1 to Cono. Norval man of the match.
I'm going to go 3-2 Cono. Man of the match, Elliot. I reckon it's going to be high scoring.
Okay. Yep.
But I think Cono with their class just get over the line.
And Elliot getting on the goal sheet there.
Elliot, I reckon they will get a goal.
Yeah.
I can see him scoring.
He loves a goal.
Next one is Woonona against Bulli, 2:30 p.m. Saturday, the 26th of Feb at Ocean Park. I do believe this will be the Charity Shield because Bulli hosted it last year.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So if you're up north and the weather gods don't, play silly buggers on us, get down to the game, get along to it.
Yep.
Good cause. I'm pretty sure Beyond Blue is the charity they raise money for. Did you report on it once?
Oh, maybe last year or the year before. But I can't remember which charity escapes me at this stage, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure it's Beyond Blue, so I'm pretty sure there's a goal calling donation involved in the entry. So, but in all honesty, I don't know what to expect from this game.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could be very similar to my coming prediction, or it could be completely opposite. I don't know. But two great rivals. It's again,
it is a derby. Another
derby. So the two teams that have been hard to get a bit of a read on this off season.
Woonona's lost. They've both
lost so much.
They've both lost very key players from the last couple of years. And
even on paper, they've lost their coach, Dan McGoldrick. I know he's still involved with the club, but
pretty sure it's very similar as a setup. But
I mean, just optics and on a the paper alone, it's a different coach. So they've lost their captain. We talked about all the losses last week, but they've lost a lot of leadership in that group. So and Bulli have had a lot of change as well.
Yeah, massive.
Guy Knight, I think, is a huge out, and Nick Littler. It's hard not to mention those guys in the same sentence.
Yeah, I know.
But they've just lost a lot of players. They've gained players too. So I don't think Woonona's added too much to their squad.
Another nickname we came out with last week, Mr. Cricket. I'll be interested to see how Mr.
Cricket, yes.
We're referring to Hussein Dareb.
Yes.
And who got the nickname Huss, who therefore got the nickname Mr. Cricket after Michael Hussey.
This is how Dylan works.
You know what? I can make another bold prediction for this weekend. Huss scores.
Oh.
Mr. Cricket scores, runs over to the beach side.
Okay.
Hits us with a fat no run.
Oh, Labuschagne.
Can you imagine if he hits us with a fat no run on his IPL debut in the local derby? Outstanding.
Marnus would be so proud.
You know what? If there's a photographer in both squads, I'm pretty sure there's a Bulli photographer.
Be ready.
Be ready for Mr. Cricket. Fat no run. All right. But we're going off a tangent there.
Yeah.
Biggest storyline, and touched on many times before. Tomohiro Ishii in his first competitive game for his old club's cross-town rivals against his old club.
Doesn't get much bigger.
The Bobby Mazepsky fixture generator added it again.
Yep.
Excuse me. Knock over. I had saliva go down the wrong way.
That happens.
Whoa.
Okay.
But anyway, Bulli's preseason recently an 8-0 win over the Flame, win over UOW, and a 4-2 loss to Albion Park. They were meant to play Belconnen, I think, over the weekend, but they got washed out.
Yep. Like a lot of games.
Yeah. Woonona's preseason hasn't been well publicised. I'm pretty sure they played Oak Flats. When I spoke to Brendan Patman for the season preview, they did play Oak Flats. And I'm pretty sure they got a win in that one as well, but it was a bit chop and change, one of those games. I haven't heard about any games since. They've probably played some games since, but hasn't been well publicised.
They've been very quiet on social media. They're not one of the biggest clubs in terms of social media anyway, but they've been very quiet this off-season.
How do you expect this one to play out?
As in the result or the game?
The game.
I think it's going to be a tough game that may open up a bit more in the second half. They're two teams that won't want to give an inch. Mm-hmm. I think a little bit of class will prevail in the end for the winning side.
Okay, the winning side doesn't want to give too much away. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are we to see Mr. Cricket make his competitive debut for the Sharks?
Fantastic. I don't know a lot about him.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, 10, just because that no run expectation.
Well, that's a shame because 1 was the highest. I knew I was going to catch you out there.
You did well.
Yeah, I knew I was going to catch you out there. But Mr. Cricket, if he hits us with that no run, if you're listening, hit us with a no run, your first goal, please. I want to see it. Just while we're recording, have you seen Ron Sharkey's latest post?
Ron Sharkey.
Yeah, praising his one and only the Brendan Patman
best.
Dino again.
His favourite. He's fanboying.
And I quote, IPL team tactics whenever they face my boy Paddy, and it's literally 11 players in front of a defending goal.
Wow.
And surprise, who's the first person to react? The only person to react, Brendan Patman. Look, no conspiracy theorists,
No,
but
not at all.
yeah. It's
He
like,
doesn't- he also
it's like
doesn't-
that Obama meme where he's putting the medal around himself. Yeah, anyway.
He also doesn't mind digging the old knife in the ribs of a few rival clubs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
Bit of fun.
Mr. Ron. Still haven't figured out who he is yet, but
We have an idea.
Paddy must have him on notifications. But anyway, your tip.
That's probably the best way of
your tip.
alluding to that.
Your tip and man of the match.
Okay, sorry to Mr. Cricket. I'm expecting Bulleye to win 3-0.
Man of the match.
So there'll be no goals for Wanuna, I'm expecting this weekend. Well, I touched on how important I think he'll be at the start of this pod. I think Tomohiro Ishii will be man of the match.
We've gone very similar. I've gone 3-1 Bulli, expecting Mr. Cricket to deliver. But man of the match, Ishii, I reckon he's in for a big game against his old side.
Yep.
This next game is one of the more interesting fixtures of the lot for several reasons. Wollongong Olympic versus Corrimal, 2:30pm Saturday, 26th of Feb at PCYC. Fresh-looking Corrimal squad that we don't know what to expect against an Olympic side that hasn't lost an IPL game since 2020. Looking even stronger now as well.
Yeah, they've also one of their most important recruits is one off the field, I believe, in Matt Bailey. I think he's really going to be. He was almost in my 3 predictions for the year to be a real,
Alpha.
alpha.
Is that the word?
I don't know. No, I just thought it was going to be a really good signing as a coach. Look, I don't know what to expect from Corrimal. I haven't known what to expect from Corrimal for 2 years, to be honest now.
Yeah,
They're a funny hard side to nail down, but they've recruited quite well, I believe.
The vibe, they recruited all right, but the vibe I got from Cody Waymire when I spoke to him, they had a rough start the pre-season.
Yep.
And I haven't heard too much about results since or games they've played, so it's hard to read into these guys a bit. You look at the names on paper and think, okay, that's an all right squad.
Yep.
They could go okay. But then they had a bit of a rough patch there.
They've
had a few players go. I'm pretty sure Daniel Kelly's gone to Tarrawanna now, and Chris Fuentes, their goalkeeper, so that's another one.
And you mentioned last week, I believe, Rick Goodchild's gone to Olympic.
Goodchild's gone to Olympic, but that was before these late changes.
Of course, Toby Norval's gone.
Yeah, or Toby Norval's a couple of. Oh, sorry, yeah.
It
was last year. Sorry, I'll take that back.
Yep.
It just feels like so long ago because he was announced very early.
It did.
I'm pretty sure it was like September or something when he got
like
announced.
So, interesting.
Don't know what to expect from Corrimal. We'll see. We'll get a lot clearer picture after the weekend, but one of the most biggest signings of the lot, Tynan Diaz, one of the NPL's best players in a long time. How excited are we to see him in our comp?
Yeah, what a treat that we get to have a player of this caliber coming in and playing in the IPL. He'll be fantastic. He could make his mark as early as this round, to be honest. I think class in general will prevail. I think that's hinting who I believe will win this game. But there's a lot of class in that Olympic side.
Oh, yeah. And Chris Fuentes was originally going to be the Corrimal goalkeeper as well, no longer part of the squad.
Yep.
Not too sure who they brought in to replace him, but we will see on the weekend. But that is a big hole to fill already.
Yeah, massive. So will that play a factor? I guess we'll see.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. Because I remember when Cody, because we recorded it before Chris moved on, he said he was their best standout player pre-season.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they come back.
Yep.
I heard talk of Jai Miller training at centre back as well. Whether he plays there on the weekend, we don't know.
So versatile.
But there's players like Dylan Caden, who played in the A-League, and Mecca Tripodi's coming down from Inter Lions. Here he's quite a handy midfielder. They could be all right. So we'll see what happens.
They've had stability with the coaches now.
They're hanging around since last year.
Since last year, there's been a lot of changes, so that's a good thing around the league, I mean.
Yeah. But a lot of stability is quite rare. I think I was talking off air to one of the players for the season preview. Start of 2020, after COVID, how many coaches who started 2020 with their club are still with the same club. I've got to think. Olympics changed.
Yep.
United's changed
Yep.
over the summer.
Yep.
Albion Park has changed over the last couple of years.
Yep.
Coniston, Roger came in last year.
Roger, yep.
Port Kembla, Dimmy.
Stuart Beattie came in last year.
Dimmy finished up as well
Yep.
right on the start of 2020. Coromal's had
Corrimal's
changes.
had not multiple changes. We've had Bellambi, Jeff Allport's moved on.
Bellambi's had changes. Winuna, do you count as a change?
Technically, yes.
Yes, no, kind of.
Sort of.
They may be the one in limbo that
Also,
like
Bulleye had the same coach.
Bulli, Julio's
Yep.
he's probably the only one. Who's the other?
Because Tarawana's changed.
Tarawana's
Chippers
changed.
in this
Chippers
year.
in.
Greg Vallich, South
Yep,
Coast
Greg
United.
Vallich is
still
another
there.
one, and
Of course,
there's one more.
we've touched on Cringilla. They've had change.
Cringilla's had
Yeah.
changed. So the only two, I'll give it three because
Okay,
they're the same.
yeah.
South Coast United, Winuna, and what was the other one we said?
We're doing well today, aren't we?
We're outstanding. Absolutely.
Bulleye.
Bulli. Yeah. So
Julio,
Julio Miranda,
yep.
Greg Vallich, and
Julio Miranda.
Dan McGoldrick / Ian Connolly,
yeah.
who were both involved at the start of 2020.
Yep.
Only three clubs. That is 25% of the league. That has kept stability. The rest have changed. So
And that's why I don't think my prediction there'll be a coach to go in the first month is that wild, really.
Yeah, well, you think
There's
about it,
so
it's
much
bold.
change.
It's bold. We'll see, because
we'll
there's
see.
a lot of expectation, particularly with some clubs at the top.
Yep.
But we'll see. Mm-hmm. Your tip for the Olympic and Corrimal game, though?
Wollongong Olympic 4-1.
Okay, yep. Man of the match.
Man of the match, Chris Price.
Yep. Evergreen.
He's just solid, always consistent,
Outstanding.
solid at the back. Yeah.
My tip is 3-0 Olympic. I don't think Corrimal will get on the score sheet. Man of the match, Tynan Diaz, in his competitive debut for the club. Yeah,
pretty good
Joey
choice.
Lavelle was so keen on Diaz playing in the IPL when we chatted with him in the season preview. Next game now. We're only halfway through this round. We're doing all right.
Doing
Wollongong United against Port Kembla, 5 p.m. Saturday the 26th at Macedonia Park. Twilight football. This is why I reckon it's going to hang around. United's pre-season started very strong, but it has lulled a bit towards the end. It's pre-season, nothing to read into too much. But 2-0 win over St. George City. 8-0 loss to Rockdale, which was a bit of a bump in the road at the start.
Yep.
But they responded quickly, got a 3-1 win over Camden, a 2-0 win over Wollongong Wolves, which Dylan said they were outstanding.
Yep.
Afterwards, though, they haven't won a game since that Wolves game. 3-2 loss to Mounties, 3-2 loss to Bonnyrigg, 1-1 against ANU Football Club, and over the weekend, a 3-2 loss to Bankstown City. I'm expecting them to be up there, though.
We always do.
What do you make of their pre-season?
Pretty good overall.
Okay.
I like the consistency. I mean, yes, they've had a coaching change, but Billy Sovolos was part of their coaching staff last year anyway, so he's been part of their club for years and years. So there's a lot of stability. They've retained pretty much the majority of that squad. There's not too many changes to that squad at United. I think we touched on it last
Zach
week.
McLaren and Billy. I'm pretty sure there was someone else as well.
Yeah.
We missed.
And they haven't
Sam Nastich.
They brought one player in, I believe it was.
And it's not even a new sign.
As a former player. But the consistency. So, every year they're up there, United. There's a lot of expectation around the club. I've talked to them in the past. They want to win everything. That's their mentality. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what competition or game it is. They want to win everything. They'll be right up there.
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty predictable. That I think this game against Port will be won in midfield. Yamada and Co against the young Port midfield will be a contest to watch, I reckon.
Look, we stir the pot a bit with him, but I think Port will really miss Vaughan Patterson in that middle. Yeah, I mean,
there's a bit of experience, but Nikolovsky did say the young legs is a big help in there as well.
I like the youth of Port Kembla, but on the flip side, there's speed. There's a lot of class in that side. I think this will be a good game.
I reckon this is going to be closer than what some people think.
Absolutely.
But so Port Kembla, their pre-season includes a 2-1 loss to Connor over the weekend, a win over Monaro Panthers in Canberra, 2-0 win over Berkeley, and a win to start off in the Peter Prendergast Cup over University of New South Wales. Mail in from Port is a good overall structure, but just lacking a few positions on the past weekend gone, which is like you want to be fixing that quickly against a United side who's guaranteed to be well drilled.
Absolutely. But that's a pretty good preseason still. I think
not bad.
You said one loss in there.
One loss in there against Connor over the weekend.
And the rest were pretty good wins, so they'll be right up there pushing for that top five as you touched on earlier. And I think they're going to really challenge in this game, I reckon.
Well, dead set. I reckon if Paul can get their main players firing, lifting up with the youth in their side,
And
I reckon these guys are a shot.
Jordan's so important this year. You know, he added that different kind of dynamic up forward last year. He was so important for them all season. You know, he's a lot of fun, and we take the mickey out of him a bit, but geez, he's a good player. And if he can deliver what he did last year, starting on the weekend, they're going to be quite good this year.
They have had in the backline 17-year-old Luca Papalia, who played under 20s last year, right?
Yeah, right.
He gets stuck in.
That's impressive.
He gets stuck in. the part of the game I was watching on the weekend, he gets stuck in.
So is he expected to get a run this week?
Well, he did. He started, I'm pretty sure, on the weekend.
Okay.
So I reckon it was him and Prandalos next to each other. But I think, he was getting stuck in there. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Dinko Terzic, who is a solid,
very, very good
solid
player.
body up there. So that's not a welcome to first grade wake up. I don't know what is, but
Exactly.
he was getting stuck
Held
in.
his own butt.
He got stuck in. Just that experience factor, but
Absolutely.
that'll come when he's 17 years old.
Oh, playing up this level, that's really impressive. Good on him.
Your tip for this match?
Okay, I think Wollongong United will get up 3-2.
Yes.
I feel like I've mentioned it every week, but I think Mitsu Yamada man of the match.
Yeah. I've gone 2-1 United. I reckon it'll be close. Man of the match, Mason Versey.
Interesting, yeah.
He's got the score sheet a couple of times over pre-season.
Yeah, doesn't mind a goal.
And the next fixture now is one of the fixtures that I reckon can go either way. South Coast United against Tarrawanna Blues, 7 p.m. Saturday night, 26th of February. Because it's this time of year, it is a twilight game.
It is. Yeah.
So, outstanding. I love twilight games.
Absolutely.
One of the fixtures that, however, can go either way.
Yep.
South Coast United pre-season include 4-3 win over the weekend in the New Steel City Cup against Newcastle Croatia, who I think they've only just started back up again.
Yep.
Playing in one of the Newcastle leagues. They had a 4-2 defeat to Helensburgh at the start. They got a win over Unanjara. They lost to Canberra Croatia, who is a tough side in the Canberra NPL. Thoughts on Thoughts on South Coast United over the off-season? That's bound to happen with me.
I feel a lot more optimistic about South Coast United than probably the last 2 years.
I do as well. And I don't know
I don't really know what's based on. I spoke to Greg last week. He was very optimistic that they can surprise him for you this year. Their recruits are looking good, and I don't know. There's just a different air of expectation. I think, let's be honest, they've been lucky to avoid relegation twice.
Well, they're
COVID's
probably
held out
the only side to finish bottom 2 years in a row and not go down.
And only got one win in each season those 2 years. I looked at the stats. They had one win both seasons.
Well, last year,
they got a win against Quinny
last year. They got a win against Quinny,
Yeah, it was a win and a draw last year.
And the year before, they had a win against Porter, was struggling.
Maybe it's because they had a solid-ish finish to last year before COVID, but I don't know.
I remember their last game was a 2-2 draw against Conno, who were high-flying at that stage, and they caught them out. But I don't know. I reckon something tells me they're going to come out with a surprise. Then something tells me they could easily surprise us just as easily as they could fall back into how they started.
And I feel a bit the same about Tarrawanna.
See, Tarrawanna, they've picked up a couple over the recent times. Obviously, we said Daniel Kelly's come from Corrimal, and Stefano Di Marino has come from Quingilla as well. So a few players moved just before the deadline, I'm pretty sure.
New coach too. Yes. New coach there. Another club legend. I think it's fair to call him.
Oh yeah.
And Scott Chipperfield coming back. Look, they're another side. I don't know, but I feel like they got a lot to prove this weekend.
They do. Very young.
It's very hard to put your finger on this one. I don't know.
Yeah, when I spoke to Nick Tomasello, I remember he was optimistic on Kyle Kirkland and Ben Learmonth in the middle. Both had injuries last year, so they hampered them a bit. So we'll see how they go back into the football.
Couple of losses that worry me. I think Tyson Black's a guy that will be really good at Coniston. And Dylan touched on it last week, Mitch Ferraro.
Unfortunately,
I know he didn't. I don't think he played at all last year, but he was a captain in 2020. Absolute ripping bloke. Seems like he's obviously a really good footballer too. I think they'll miss those two in particular. But as you said, there's some signings as well. So
yes, and we'll go through some of their results. They beat Belconnen in Canberra. Big win over Picton a couple of weeks ago. A 4-3 narrow win over Warilla. 3-2 defeat to Fernhill in a COVID-affected game in their first game of the year. Yeah, I'll get your thoughts on Tara over the off-season.
Okay. Yeah,
Not too bad.
nothing absolutely jumpy out at me in those results, but nothing bad either. So that's again why I think they're a hard side to kind of get a read on coming into round one.
Tara could come out and surprise us all, but for some reason, I feel like South Coast is going to surprise us here. I feel like this game is going to be decided on how South Coast's more experienced players cope. If they can get through the 90 minutes, no issues against the young leagues with Tara, there could be a result here for United. But if not, game could fall away, and I'm pretty sure it fell away last year. They were hanging in there and then conceded a couple of goals, lost 3-0, I'm pretty sure. But I am torn how to pick this one. How did you pick it?
This is my draw of the week. My only draw for the week. I've gone 1-1.
Man of the match?
It's someone I actually spoke to Greg Valich about last week in Jamie Wakeling.
You reckon Jamie? Yeah.
Jamie's among those kind of core plays he was talking about. They're in their early to mid-20s that he thinks are ready to carry the culture for that club. And I think he'll play really well round one.
See, I'm similar. I've gone a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Man of the match in his debut, Marco Panisi. I reckon Marco Panisi, because Jamie Wakeling was quite optimistic about Marco.
Yep.
Pretty sure midfielder, if I remember correctly. But Marco Panisi.
I think he's actually a forward.
Forward?
Yeah.
Marco Panisi,
I believe.
If he's forward, get it on the score sheet then, I reckon.
If not, sorry, Marco. But
we'll get it right one day. One day. It's kind of hard when you don't have Fox League cameras all around every ground. Right. You can't watch every game.
Pre-season trial videos.
We're relying on people telling us the info. But final match of the round, Albion Park White Eagles against Bellambi. 3 p.m, only Sunday game of the week, the 27th of Feb at Terry Reserve. Albion Park White Eagles pre-season, which I touched on at the start, as follows: a 3-1 win over Dulwich Hill over the weekend, 4-1 win over Canberra Olympic, a 4-2 win over Sutherland Sharks, a 1-1 draw with Canterbury Bankstown, 3-3 with Conno, and a 4-2 win over Bulli. 0 losses.
And the biggest thing there, they love a goal. Always have Albion Park, but there's a lot of strike power there.
Well, I'm looking at here. 3 goals.
3, 4.
3, 7, 11, 12, 15, 19 goals in 6 games. So that's over 3 goals a game.
We've talked last week. We spoke a lot about Mitch Cross. We spoke a lot about Cameron Morgan, and they got other weapons in that side as well. So I expect a few goals.
I feel like there's something big coming from Albion Park.
They've kind of been there or thereabouts the last 2 years. Like last year, I felt they were awesome, but I think they still finished 4th.
They
I believe.
What's let them down the last couple of years is their up and down starts.
Yeah.
Once they get going, they're one of the most dangerous sides in the league.
It was 2020. They absolutely came out flying. They nearly made the grand final that year.
Well, they got
it was a 90-minute goal against Renuna. So
in the rain,
if they, who knows, they could have been challenging for the title that year if they'd got on that run a little bit earlier. So.
It was. But I emphasise this in the season preview. If you haven't listened to the season preview, go to Spotify and watch it, please. Get those numbers up even more.
Jeez, shameless. I like it.
Shameless. The Morgan and Mitch Cross link, 10 goals in 6 trial games combined. Morgo missing a couple of those due to isolation as well. A very, very dangerous duo. I believe Morgo got a double on the weekend as well.
Doesn't mind a goal. Does he? Let's be honest. He's not backflipping anymore, is he?
Nah, ankles gave way.
Nah.
Yeah. We're coming up to the anniversary of the death of that backflip, which is quite
Cue the Enya music.
Gotta remember that.
Yep.
But Dylan went out on a limb and said Albion Park probably have the best midfield in the comp last week. Munro and Fordham, while a bit older, still have their smarts. Kambisios is one of the biggest pickups in the league for me with NPL experience. And Adrian Vigiani, former Western Sydney Wanderers youth player, is going to be a massive spark.
He's the one I can't wait to see what he produces this year. He comes with a big rep. He was in the Wanderers system at such a young age. I believe he played youth grade football for Australia. He's a player to watch this year, that's for sure.
Bellambi as well have a couple of, like we touched on last week, several big good wins. Some decent showings with Ryan Beattie was really optimistic. A player he was really optimistic on was Leo Hiroshi, who used to play for Conno. He will be their key, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right. They're a side, they like to surprise, don't they? They're definitely a team that, they're always competitive. That's what I like about Bellambi. So, interesting. They need to start well.
Yeah, they're gonna fight hard, no doubt about it. Whether they get the result this weekend is another story. But I think the reason why we haven't been, we've said Olympic and all that, will be challenging.
Yep.
I think Albion Park, you can put them in that boat this year. The reason why you haven't really considered Albion Park is because of their up and down starts in recent years.
Yep.
If they start well this year, looking at this squad, there's absolutely no reason they can't challenge for the league, I think.
That's why I said not in order before, because it's hard to work out which of those 4 teams.
Well, it could be a case where there's 5 rounds to go and the whole top 4 is in contention.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure the top 3 in particular last year were interchanging every weekend.
Yeah. And Park finished 4th in that group, didn't they, last year?
They did, yeah.
But it felt like they were awesome last year. That's the thing. Like, it felt like they really took a step forward.
They finished strong.
So that's why I think they'll be right up there again.
Rightio, final tip of the round.
Okay. Albion Park, 4-1, I believe.
Man of the match?
Mitch Cross, who I touched on at the start of the show. I think
that was your headline, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Mitch Cross will be looking to make an impression. So probably get on the score sheet, maybe 1 or 2 even.
Mm-hmm. My tip is 3-1 Albion Park. Man of the match, I reckon Ken Bissios in the midfield. Yep. Man of the match.
Pretty solid choice.
Have we got anything else to add, Mr. Bartlett? What have we got? Get to a game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Get to a game.
Right.
Get the Oregon season opener's the one to pick, the match of the round. Crooney and Connor, 8 p.m. on Friday. But get to a game.
Yep.
Seriously. And if you haven't listened to the season preview yet,
check it out.
Check it out.
Yep.
Check it out. All your support is very appreciated. But thanks again, Mrs. Footballholic, as we're dubbed now, I'm pretty sure. Mrs. Footballholic.
Well, Jared, I've been called worse. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I know.
Always a pleasure.
Such
Thanks,
is
mate.
the journo's life. But thank you all to listening. Be sure to give us a like on all the platforms, subscribe as well. And hopefully this YouTube video works this week. But catch you next week. Round 1 review, round 2 preview for the Illawarra Premier League.